Hey everybody, welcome to the Jules Retro Playback Show. Now, this is the first episode of this show, but this is not the first time I've done this show. Back in 1988, when I was in college, I had my own show. It was called the DJ Jules Show, and it was all the music of that day. But fast forward 32 years later, that show is now going to happen today. In the 90s, there was a group called Jellyfish. I like retro. The Polecats make a circuit with me. Me in the 80s, here in New York City, you wanted some underground music. Otherwise known as U68. On U68, I would find out about a band called the Cucumbers from Brooklyn. Everything Goes. By the time I was watching MTV at the start in 1981, the band The Go-Go's were hot on the scene. But a lesser-known song, at least in my opinion, is Head Over Heels. In the 80s, there was a huge band, Wall of Voodoo. A lot of people might remember one of my favorites, Mexican Radio. Well, the front guy, Stan Ridgway, amazing singer and harmonica player, went on his own and had a really successful solo career. One of my favorites, The Big Heat. Now, one of my all-time favorite bands has to be Blondie. Debbie Harry on vocals, and right here from New York City. A little bit of hip-hop, a little bit of reggae, definitely punk rock. Now, the Stray Cats, they're known for Sexy and 17, Stray Cat Strut. Now, these are great songs, don't get me wrong. But what about the Rumble in Brighton Tonight? That is as retro as it gets. It is hard-hitting, and Brian Setzer's playing, bar none. Thomas Dolby, She Blinded Me with Science, but Airhead, lost classic. It was the mid to late 70s, and I loved my 45s. I had quite the collection. And one of my all-time favorites in my 45 collection, Driver's Seat by Sniff in the Tears. Ricky Lee Jones, Chucky's in Love. David Bowie had a great song off of Hunky Dory. To me, it's like a B-side. If you don't know the album, if you know the album, you love it. It's called Bombers. Now, a lot of people don't know that the Go-Go's had another band. Well, sort of. Charlotte Caffrey from the Go-Go's split off at some point, and she had a side project called The Graces, where she was the lead singer and had this great hit called Lay Down Your Arms. In the 80s, I had a secret love affair with the band King. Self-explanatory, God's Kitchen, Blancmange. In the mid-'80s, I was lucky enough to discover the amazingness of China Crisis. Two guys from London with so many amazing albums. This album is Flaunt the Imperfection, You Did Cut Me. Well, to me, the king of retro is absolutely Marshall Crenshaw. What a great album Field Day was in the very start of the 80s. The Toasters, very retro, old school, ska, third wave, and my cousin Dave on keyboards. Thanks a lot for watching the show. Come back for the next installment next week on the Retro Playback Show. At the end of every show on my YouTube page, you will find the playlist to the show, which is on Spotify, and also a link to my all original music, 4 albums, Spiritease, RedjMusic BMI, definitely influenced by all the bands you heard today. Thanks. Have a great week.